So good morning. Today is on a Tuesday, and as usual, I have the Tech Tuesday. But today I want to go to the area of research, and I want us to look at how you can actually use artificial intelligence platforms such as the ChatGPT in research. I know there has been a big debate about how ChatGPT and other artificial intelligence platforms are actually coming to kill research or to make it possible for students to actually do research without the due diligence or the due process due to plagiarism and all this. But even as we talk about that, I think we also need to go further and ask ourselves, how can we be able to use these platforms to actually do quality research? Or how can these platforms help us to do some research or to carry out our research? Now, today I'm going to look at two areas. I'm going to look at how you can use ChatGPT to actually look for a title for your research. I know that is one of the areas that we actually have a big problem, because sometimes you do not know whether your title is good or whatever you want to research on is a good area. And for this to happen, I'm going to use two platforms. I'm going to use the AI platform ChatGPT, and I'm also going to use another platform called Google. Basically, because Google is going to help me get papers or research papers that can help me to know more about the area of my research. Now, the first thing that I do is to come to ChatGPT here and actually type, give me a list of research titles in technology use. So I actually want to do technology use. Basically, because that was my area of research, and I would want to know, if today I was to do the same research, what are some of the areas that I would actually look at? So give me a list of 10 research titles. So I want to be specific, 10, so that it can give me as many as possible. Now I have clicked on enter. I'm waiting to see how many I'm going to get. So these are the 10 potential research titles in technology usage. You can see exploring the effectiveness of virtual reality in education, the impact of social media on mental health and well-being, investigating the adoption and use of artificial intelligence in healthcare, analyzing the effectiveness of online learning platform, the role of technology in the future work, examining the impact of smart home technologies on quality of life, assessing the effectiveness of telemedicine in rural areas, investigating the use of big data in marketing and advertising, the impact of technology in human communication and interaction, exploring security and privacy risk associated with IoT devices. So you can see some of these topics are actually very, very timely, and some of they're actually some of the areas that are trending today, especially in technology. The main reason as to why I like looking at technology usage is because in most cases, I know many people just talk about adoption, but people can adopt technology and not use it. And also, we create value with technology when we use technology. If you adopt a technology and you do not use it, you do not use it, then you are not creating value. So you can see how many I have gotten. So if I want more, I can actually come here and type more so that it can add more of this to me. So it is going, ChatGPT is going to give me more titles. In fact, it is giving me another 10 that I can be able to look at. So I'm going through the titles and trying to see whether there is a title that I have an interest in, or a title that I can be able to actually explore further. So I can decide to go through all these titles to see some of the challenges that we have. But because this is just a learning process, what I'm going to do is that I'm just going to choose one title and see what we can be able to do further with the title. Now, maybe I choose this title on social media and health, mental health, well-being, because I think that is one of the challenges that are there. Then I type it there. So that is what I have chosen from all those, the impact of social media on mental health and well-being. Now, this one, I can do two things. I can put it there, and after putting it there, I can ask ChatGPT to identify the research gaps in this topic. So I wanted to identify the research gaps in this topic so that I know whether there are research gaps in this topic. There are several potential research gaps in the topic of the impact of social media on mental health and well-being. So you can see long-term effect. While there have been studies on short-term, the social media and mental health, is a lack of research on long-term. So individual differences, there's a need for research that takes into account individual differences. Measurement, there's a need for standardized, valid, and reliable measures. So you can see I'm getting the gaps. Actually, it's actually giving me some of the areas that I can be able to explore as the gaps in that topic that I have given it there. Remember, it has generated a topic for me. Now I'm trying to look at some of the areas that I can be able to go through in that topic or to deal with in that topic, especially when it comes to gaps. There is a need for research to develop and test intervention aimed at reducing the negative impact of social media on mental health and well-being, as well as all these things. So these are all the gaps that I'm getting. I'm getting so many gaps that I can be able to look at. Now, before I decide which gap to look at, maybe I can even go to Google. I'll go to Google. You can see like now there is this paper here that I was trying to look at. I can go to Google. Let me just go to Google and share something on Google. I'm trying to look at Google, whether I have Google. I can go to Google and type the same topic and try to see some of the papers that have been done in that area. So let's see whether it is possible for me. So I can go to Google, and after going to Google, then I can be able to look at some of the areas in that topic. So I'm trying to see whether I can be able, let me see. So I'm still, so I can go to Google, and you can see now I'm in Google. Then after going to Google, then I can type the same thing there. I can type the same thing there, the title that I have taken. I don't know whether that is the title, the impact of social media on mental health. And maybe I can come here and write journals so that I can be able to get the journals in that area. The reason as to why I'm doing that is because I want to see some of the gaps that have actually been studied in some of these journals. Remember, it has given me a topic. Now it is my work to look at the journals that are there in the Google and try to see what areas have been searched. So we have social media use and mental health and well-being among adolescents, a scope review. So I can go to the abstract and look at what they got among the 79 studies that met inclusion criteria. The first majority were quantitative, so they are talking about what was happening. The finding from the CARE scope revealed that about 3/4 of the included study focused on social media and some aspect of pathology. So you can see they are telling us some of the areas that have actually been studied, and maybe we can be able to get more on that area or area that we can be able to do. So the next stage after I've gotten the title is to go to Google, try to look at as many papers as possible. I can look at the abstract, I can go back and look at the conclusion and also the other areas of review or future research. I see some of the gaps that these people are talking about. Now, after I have explored the paper and I have enough papers on that area, then I think I should go back to my I can go back to my ChatGPT. Now I have the gaps. I have some few gaps here. Maybe I can even tell it to expound. If I decide that I'm going for the long-term effect of, while there have been studies on short-term effect of social media, there's lack of long-term impact on the social media. So I can actually copy that. I can copy that and then bring it here and tell ChatGPT to expound further on this, because I want to know more about that area. So I want to know more about the long-term and short-term effect gap. I see whether there's something that I can be able to do about it. So ChatGPT is going to expound for me, and you can see it is doing that. So it means that ChatGPT can be able to help me to identify a topic. It can help me to actually know more about that topic that I have identified. It can be able to help me to know some of the gaps that are there in that area. Then I use ChatGPT and what do you call it, Google, to try and get as many papers as possible so that I can be able to understand the area more. So I go back to the journals after getting the title and understanding the problems that are there or the gaps that are there. You can see it has expounded for me the gap that I have asked it. So I have more information about what is happening in that topic. Now, if I'm not conversant or I want to get more information from the AI, maybe I would go further and try to ask the AI to give me the research questions that it thinks can actually be studied in that area, in that topic. And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to get to look at what it gives me and try to look at some of go to Google and try to look at some of the research questions that have been used in most of those journals that I have actually looked at. So in that case, I will compare what ChatGPT gives me and also try to compare what other people have done and see whether there is a comparison in some of the research questions that have been studied in some of those areas. So I can come here and maybe tell it to please expound, please list the research questions in that topic. So there are some potential research questions for the topic, the impact of social media. You can see what are the long effect of the social media on the mental health. How do individual differences such as age and all these mental health status, how can an impact of social media on mental health and well-being be measured in a standardized, valid, reliable way? What are the potential moderators? What moderators of the relationship between the social media use and all these? What is the causality? So I'm getting some of the questions, the kind of the questions that I can be able to ask. And remember the research questions that I can be able to study. And remember what I have said, that I need now to go to some of the journals that I have gotten and try to see some of the areas that they have, some of the research questions that they have used, and see whether there is any relationship between what the artificial intelligence AI is giving me and what has been studied. The good thing about that is that I will know what to go for and also what maybe I can still, what more I can be able to go for based on what the artificial intelligence is giving me. So I have ample information about the research questions, ample information about the gaps that I can be able to look at, ample information about the titles that I can be able to look at in the area of my interest. And all these are some of the most important milestones, especially when you're doing research. I may not stop there. I may go back and try to also know who can benefit from this research. And maybe I can tell ChatGPT to give me the significance of this research. Why is it important? The importance of this research actually, so that I can compare with what other people are doing. Because remember, I'm using two platforms. I'm using Google as a source of the journals that I'm supposed to use, and I'm also using ChatGPT to help me understand some of those areas and also some of those things that I need to understand in this research. So maybe I can come here and ask ChatGPT to please identify the significance of this research topic. So what is the significance? What is the importance of this research topic? I think I've had a problem with my ChatGPT. Let me say the generator, see whether so I have a problem, and maybe it's because of the network, the internet. And I think these are some of the challenges that we have with some of these AIs. But now you can see how you can be able, now you understand how you can be able to use some of these artificial intelligence platforms to actually do a research or come up with a research with all, identify the title of the research, understand the gaps that are there in that title, and also identify some of the research questions that you can dwell in that area. Remember, as I have said, ChatGPT is not going to do the research for you, but ChatGPT and other artificial intelligence platforms are going to help you to understand your topic well, and to also understand what you need to actually look at in your topic. Remember, I've said that I use the two platforms together, the artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, and the Google. And the reason as why I'm bringing in the Google is because the Google is going to give me many journals as possible that can help me to actually understand what is happening in that topic, and also see what people have studied in that topic. Then I can compare with what I have from the artificial intelligence and see whether there are other gaps that I can be able to explore that have never been explored, and also other research questions that have never been explored that I can be able to explore. So that is the power of some of these artificial intelligence tools that can enhance our research development in this country and also globally. So as we look at them as a disadvantage in a negative prism, I think we also need to look at some of the ways in which we can be able to utilize them, because they are not going anywhere. We are going to be with them here. And as researchers, it is a high time that we understand how to use them. So thank you very much. And I do believe that I have actually created value, added value in your understanding of what to do in research using some of these artificial intelligence tools. So thank you and God bless.